Good afternoon, everybody. So today, this is my great honor to be part of the Global Goals Month. It's a very pleasure to introduce our research activities, toilet to table for a nutrient circular economy. So before I start, I just read a bit of a survey. So how many people from our university student we have here? Okay, so almost 30%. So we have also professional staff member, postdoctoral research fellow, and then we have an industry partner here. Hopefully after this presentation, we can sign some of the good agreement to make a translation of this research. So I'd like to thank you for Alex and then Daniela to organize this fantastic event. So every year they have a lot of effort to produce this quality of the Global Goals Month. So it's good timing to promote our research at UTS. And I just want to also thank you for our co-authors, Charu Puncho, Ibrahim S. Salevi, Leonard Tijing, Wanjung, Andrea, Amil, Cindy, Pema, Jerry, Jade, Umakan, Abdul, Hao, and Federico. Also, Andrea is here, and he has been working with us as a postdoctoral research fellow. And a little bit of history of this research. So this is the 7 years our research activity. So initially in 2018, so we applied for international research collaboration funding, and we developed new technology. And 2019, I joined a conference, and I met one researcher from University of Queensland, and then he worked the same research area. That's the reason why we discuss about how we can make a bigger opportunity and research project. So we apply research hub, ARC research hub for nutrient in a circular economy in 2020. So you remember 2020, what happened? So it was a pandemic period. So a lot of difficulty to attract the industry cash contribution, in-kind contribution, but yeah, we made it. And then we got the successful outcome 2021. After that, yeah, a lot of industry withdraw because they changed because of this pandemic situation. But luckily, we organized new industry partners to make this project happen. And since 2022, so we have operated this project with 8 industry partners. 7 universities and 22 industry partners. So we have working this one, how to translate our research activity. So today, the contents are very simple. I don't want to go for too much technical information. So this is more about the visualized presentation, a lot of photos and concept, how we can try to achieve this nutrient circular economy. And at the end of the presentation, I have prepared a gift for you. So thank you for coming. So I have 6 gifts from some of our UTS produced fertilizer. Also, we have some towels and then t-shirts, our nice hub t-shirts. But it's not free. So I will give you a quiz. Then you have to get the right answer. So if you focus on this presentation, you can get the correct answer. Okay? So please join this presentation. So today, we live in linear economy for nutrient. So simply, we just produce fertilizer and produce food and consume, and we just discharge. So all the nutrients goes to the waterways, also goes to the CO2 and N2O. So this is very linear economy. So we try to make this one to circular economy. So if you look at this nitrogen production as a fertilizer, so Haber-Bosch process, so 2% of the global greenhouse emissions, because so we have a lot of nitrogen in the air. So we just capture this air, combine with the hydrogen, and pressurize the 300 bar and 500 degree. So high pressure, high temperature, you need to spend a lot of energy. So CO2 produce a lot from the ammonia production of fertilizer. Also, phosphorus is the one of the major fertilizer component. So this is very limited reserve. So it is running out almost in 100 years. So we have to find out some alternative fertilizer, otherwise nobody can get the food. So that's the reason why we like to have how we can make a sustainable nutrient recovery system. So after we produce this fertilizer and we have food and we consume, and you every day you eat a lot of food, nutrient, and goes to toilet and discharge. So if you discharge toilet at UTS, so it goes to the sewer pipeline at underground and Malava wastewater treatment plant and treat and discharge to the ocean. So that's how it works. So every day we discharge a lot of nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and nutrient, huge amount of fertilizer. And what happens is that the water waste, so if you discharge the nutrient, what would happen is that the algae blooming, nowadays the South Australia in problem of our algae blooming. So these are all from our nutrient, because algae is very much easily grow, and then they like to food with the hot temperature. And then we created this algae blooming. So we can try to minimize the discharge of this nutrient. Also, CO2 and N2O, we need to remove this nutrient in a wastewater treatment plant. So we try to utilize a lot of biological treatment plant processes in wastewater treatment plant. And then they produce a lot of CO2 and N2O, which are the very serious greenhouse gas components. So how we can make sure this kind of environment to make this linear economy to circular economy. So let's look at the fertilizer market. So Australia is very much rely on the agriculture sectors. So how much fertilizer we are utilizing every day. So where is this fertilizer from? So most of them, more than 90% of the fertilizer come from overseas. So they produce this fertilizer and then we import because it's cheap. So this is all from the overseas fertilizer. Global market is last year $200 billion, and they keep increasing around 4% every year. In Australia, we have a $1.6 billion market, and then this 2030, so $1.8 billion. So it's also keep increasing. So if we can save some of the fertilizer, we can also contribute a lot of imported fertilizer, as well as our agriculture sectors. So where is the nutrient? So you discharge your nutrient to the wastewater treatment plant. So it goes to one of the wastewater treatment plant. So remove the nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, because it's very much harmful for environment. So we utilize the biological treatment process. So if you look at the nutrient in urine and wastewater in general, 40 milligram per liter of nitrogen and 7 milligram per liter of phosphorus, also micropollutants, which are pharmaceutical compounds or medicine. Also, some people take any drugs, so it goes to the wastewater treatment plant. We have to remove. But the inside the urine, so almost 80% of nitrogen come from our urine. And phosphorus, 65%, micropollutant, 50%. So we capture this urine from our daily toilet life, and we can save a lot of nitrogen, phosphorus, even potassium, calcium, magnesium. They are all good fertilizer component. So we can also utilize this fertilizer. So that's the reason why we try to so separate the urine to collect at the upstream of the wastewater treatment plant and then convert to fertilizer. So urine diversion can enhance the food security by recovering nitrogen, phosphorus, reduce the energy associated with the fertilizer production, Haber-Bosch process, and nutrient removal from wastewater. So this is the nitrification. You need a lot of aeration to let the microorganisms survive. So wastewater treatment plant consume more than 60% of energy to remove this nitrogen and phosphorus. So huge amount of energy is consumed because of removal of nitrogen, phosphorus in a wastewater treatment plant. Also, we can reduce the water by reducing flushing and improve the overall water quality. So why not? We can make this linear economy to circular economy from our waste. That's the reason why we have contributed this research. And in terms of United Nations Sustainable Development Goal, we could contribute 11 sustainable cities, 13 climate action, life below water, responsible consumption and production, clean water and sanitation, as well as zero hunger. So we are driving this research to make this UN SDG goals. So first of all, just a very simple, our human body mechanisms. How we produce the urine. So every day you produce around 1.5 liter of the urine. So you drink water, even food, and digest in a stomach. And then small intestine absorb a lot of nutrient, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. And then this is the ammonia component. So ammonia is very toxic in our body. So our liver change ammonia to urea. So this urea is easily move around in our body and then supply our nutrient in our body system. And finally reach to the kidneys. And then all the nutrient and some of the harmful compound discharge to our bladder, and finally we discharge this urine. So this is our daily human mechanism. We produce a lot of urine, and there are many nutrients we are just discharging every day. So what is inside? You can see the 99% is water, very pure water. And nutrient, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, sulfur, iron, manganese, and copper. Also, some people take some different nutrient, and then it comes out to the urine. So if we collect this kind of nutrient, so we can have a very good fertilizer. It's all combined. We don't have to separate ammonia, nitrogen, phosphorus, calcium, magnesium, different fertilizer. You don't have to keep mixing separately. Just our urine contain all the fertilizer component to grow our food. So the problem is Some of organics, micropollutants, and pathogens are major problems. So we need to remove this one to secure our food production. So our technology, we like to target this component to remove all the pathogen, virus, and then micropollutant, and how we can extract only fertilizer, NPK, and other components. So that's the reason why we have developed this technology. So look at the urine. Initially, the fresh urine we discharge. So a lot of people are questioning why the urine is yellow. Because of vitamins. Some people say, oh, I take a vitamin, looks like my urine is much more yellow than normal timing. So some people say vitamin. Yes, it's true, vitamin affect the urine. But if you don't take any vitamins, so still your urine is yellow because your red blood cell will be degraded and then oxidized and change to our bilirubin components. So this is the yellow color, yellow pigment, so that this is our blood is continuously divide and then survive and then generate again. So all the cell of the red blood cell will be degradable, and then it change to the bilirubin compound, and then finally you just discharge this compound. So this is the component of our blood cell. So when you discharge this fresh urine, mostly urea, not ammonia, not any of the components. So urea compound we have. And then if you just leave around 1 day or 2 days, so you hydrolyze the urine. So urea try to change to the ammonia. So this ammonia easily evaporate, and then pH increased. Initially, your pH of the urine is neutral, like a tablet pH 7. But when you have a hydrolyzed urine, and this will convert to the high pH because of alkalinity. So look at the seawater. Seawater, there are many, like some crabs or coral reefs, because they produce a lot of CO2 from the air, dissolve in the seawater, because seawater pH is 8. And then a lot of coral and the crabs and the lobster can be produced using calcium carbonate. So pH increase a lot. And you can see that in the bottom. So this is the strobite. So we have this kind of powder will be precipitate from the urine, because this compound is high pH and then easily precipitate as a crystal form. So you can see the magnesium ammonia phosphate is the good fertilizer. So we can see this is the crystal fertilizer we produced from the human urine without doing anything. And then we have hydrourine, urea to ammonia. So ammonia is the good fertilizer solution. Also, biologically, the microorganism is continuously growing inside this urine because a lot of nutrients are there. So we have a lot of biological processes producing. So if you see the little bit of chemistry, so initially when you discharge our urine, so urea is there and easily discharged from our body, and then convert to ammonia and ammonium ions and nitrite, nitrate. So ammonia and nitrate, NH4, NO3, cation, and anions are very good fertilizer. So we target to this urine fertilizer to change to the ammonia and nitrate, which is a very stable condition in this fertilizer. So this is we produce the fertilizer as a diluted form. So we can easily spray this fertilizer produced from our university student in building 1. So you dilute almost 5 times. So you can easily apply it for your plant. So this is the way we have a production of our fertilizer solution. So we need a urine diversion toilet. How to effectively collect the urine only. The other solid goes to another pipeline, and then urine can be collected from male urinal. So male urinal is very common in our university. The building 11, even this building, so I'm sure that you have used every day without any water, just you pee and then collect the urine. So our building 11, the Faculty of Engineering IT, so we have installed this male urinal, and we collect every floor. So we have 12 floors. So every day we produce around 1,000 liters of urine, very fresh urine. And this is the pedestal toilet, the first generation. You can see the hole at the front, and then the other solid goes to this plumbing system. And this is the new generation of the toilet. So you can see the yellow urine goes to this front side, and due to the surface tension, so urine is going to the front plumbing system, and fresh water, and then the other solid, and goes to this plumbing side. So that's already commercially available, and then we can easily install and separate the urine and then the other solid. So we can capturing this urine diversion system. So based on this urine, so we have developed the membrane bioreactor. So this is membrane, looks like a hair, yeah? And then there are 0.01 micrometer pore size inside this hollow fiber membrane. And we just suck this water, and you just penetrate your fertilizer only. So we remove the virus, and we remove the pathogens. Also, we remove some of the micropollutant. So we have developed this membrane bioreactor. So just to put into your urine tank, and then continuously we can produce the fertilizer. So what's the order? Organics, and then ammonia, and what's the concentrated urine? Because the urine concentration is around 5 grams per liter, relatively low. So how we can make a little bit concentrate fertilizer, almost 300 grams per liter. So 20 times concentrated. So we can easily transport, we can easily containerize and supply to the farmers. Even we can have a more convenient utilization. So how much concentration we can achieve? So we have tested what's the growing performance of lettuce and pak choi. So I want to share some of our results. So this is the building 11. So we have a lot of urine diversion toilets. So we collect at the basement. So you can see this building and basement. And we have a membrane bioreactor to remove the organic smell mainly. And then ammonia to nitrate, stable fertilizer condition, and concentrate to remove the more pathogen and viruses, and concentrate our fertilizer. So we produced this fertilizer and tested our hydroponic system. So this is the concentrated data. So we concentrate as much as we can. So this is initial urine, yellow color, concentrate urine, and permeate. So concentrate urine, when you continuously concentrate and water is evaporate, so your fertilizer is dense, and then you create a lot of scale, like similar to steroid or calcium carbonate, calcium phosphate. A lot of crystal will be produced. So we try to maximize almost 80% of concentrate will be the optimum to utilize concentrate fertilizer. So based on this result, we tested with the Royal Botanical Garden in Sydney, and this is the result we have. We compare with the chemical fertilizer and the commercial fertilizer and our fertilizer. So we found out very much similar performance to grow lettuce and pak choi, and we think about how to scale up. Okay, the performance looks like very promising, and how we can scale up to produce the more fertilizer from our university basement. And this is the initial 20 liter of our lab scale and pilot scale. Now we have manufactured full scale membrane bioreactor. Looks like a refrigerator. So we put into all the different sensors, controlling system, pumping, and reactor inside, and then try to produce our fertilizer in scale. So this is the performance we have. So Andrea, he made this experiment, and so we compare different fertilizer commercially available. So this is the one of the commercially available fertilizer, Power Pit. So it's almost $30 of 1 liter. And you can see the commercial and oval, our fertilizer yellow color, and control is black color. Also, we have a different performance of the commercial fertilizer. So after 1 week and then 4 weeks, so we found out our fertilizer to grow the grasses. And then compared to this commercial fertilizer, the performance is comparable, also better, because urine has a lot of also different biostimulant component, also special fertilizer compound, so that we found out the better result compared to the commercially available fertilizer. So that's we like to also expand our opportunity to translate this research. And then building level, we already demonstrated. So nicely, so a lot of festival and then events. So they need a more portable toilet. So we developed this nice loop and mobile toilet system. So we just installed the male toilet with the urine diversion toilet and female at the right side. And in the middle, so we installed our refrigerator type of the membrane bioreactor. And continuously we produced at the festival, music festival event. Also, we can just collect people's urine, and then we can convert to fertilizer, building level, also public toilet. So parklands, also many places, they have a public toilet. So we also try to install this technology at the behind to convert the urine to fertilizer. So these are the typical nutrients. So commercial fertilizer, so hydroponic, NPK ratio is 10 to 3 to 7. So our fertilizer 10 to 1.5 to 3.5. So NPK ratio are very much suitable. Also, we have a more compound, different sulfate, iron, and some of the useful fertilizer inside our fertilizer. So we have tested many different plants, viola, so flowers. So botanical garden, they have a lot of flowers, so we can utilize this fertilizer, and jabra, and lipsalis, and some of the basil and coriander, and parsley, and spearmint. So we found out most of plants are growing very well with the combined human waste fertilizer. So now we are a little bit scale up further. What we are doing is produce this fertilizer from the full scale. So this is the tank at the basement of our building 11. So this is 10,000 liter. So we produce every day around 1,000 liter of fertilizer. So we install together with this urine, and then we continuously produce every day huge amount of fertilizer. Already everybody knows UTS has a lot of green wall in the building 1, building 10, building 11. So we have around 7, the green wall system. Also we have a rooftop, the green wall system. So we have collaborated with the city forest. So now we are continuously provide our fertilizer to the city forest to utilize the green wall with our fertilizer. So building 10 and building 11. So if you have opportunity to visit there, so this green wall fertilizer is from our university student fertilizer. So you can smell as well as you can touch it. And this is what we have progressed so far. So we like to have a more green wall and more fertilizer, more application can be contributed for this nutrient circular economy system. So he's Chris from the city forest. He's in charge of our green wall at UTS campus. So we have collaborated with him and then just to interview him how our fertilizer is performing.
Okay, great. My name's Chris from City Forest. Nice to see you. Shon and I are working together on incorporating his urine-based fertiliser into green assets on buildings. We've been doing trials here at UTS. We look after all of the green assets on the buildings here, and there are some select green walls that we have been running trials on with these fertilisers, and the results to date have been wonderful. We had noticed some deficiencies prior to utilising these and allowed those to occur a little just to see what would happen, and then straight away noticed a huge improvement with the incorporation of Shon's urine-based fertiliser system into the assets on the building. As you can see here, the plants here are thriving. They are under fairly low light level conditions. They're in a hardware system that helps encapsulate the plant's roots and spread that moisture and fertiliser evenly over the whole surface area. It's a bioactive green wall system that we have developed over time, and specifically for the improvement of efficiency and sustainability on buildings for both water usage, plant health, reducing maintenance, and the cost to stakeholders on those buildings over time. And with the partnership that we've formed so far with Shon, we can see that this is going to help achieve greater cost savings for some of these buildings going ahead into the future, and will allow a little bit more confidence from specifiers and designers of these jobs to incorporate more green assets and biomass onto infrastructure.
So overall, just summarize what he's talking about. He's very happy to utilize our urine fertilizer because this green one is much greener than the before. Also, they have a very good fertilizer supply produced from our university fertilizer. So we like to have a more environmental friendly, also nutrient circular economy, collaboration with city forest, and continue to look at expanding the application of this green wall and fertilizer. So even though I mentioned about only urine, so it could expand our opportunity to different nutrient-rich wastewater from urban area, industrial, livestock. Also another big bioreactor contain very high concentration of fertilizer. So we can also collect this wastewater to convert to fertilizer. And then we can apply for eatable crops, non-eatable crops, so that we can achieve this nutrient circular economy. So this is the overall conceptualized video produced from the UTS media team. Human urines contain everything which is useful for our food production: nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, as well as micronutrient.
The biggest challenge is how do we collect it in a cost-effective way and convert it into a form that farmers can use effectively.
The NICE Hub aims to collect, recover and recycle nutrients from waste and convert them into useful fertilizer.
We use more energy to produce nitrogen for agriculture than all the planes burning aviation fuel globally. It makes sense that we do something to change that.
Together with Southeast Water, we have developed the AS NICE Lab, which is the mobile trailer system. We collect the urine at the behind the tank, and then we just feed our urine to this membrane bioreactor system. Then we have also pumping system and then pipeline. So finally, we produce the fertilizer from this pipeline, and then we can apply directly for fertigation.
The next steps is basically moving forward to apply that fertilizer. So now we are testing more and more how we can use this one in a city environment.
We've been working with the NICE project team since 2019 on testing the end product, the bit that literally gets flushed down the drain and turned into a fertilizer product to deploy in our nursery operations. Millions of people across the globe that are just flushing urine down the toilets every day means that we've got this continual, sustainable, replaceable source of fertilizers that, if it can be harvested and concentrated, means we've got ready access to a wonderful source of fertilizer that can be used for growing plants.
Currently, waste management principle is just treat the waste and you dispose it. If we can do the source separation of the urine and remove the nitrogen load, we obviously lower the greenhouse gas emission. It really transforms the way we treat our wastes. One of the key research priorities for Southeast Water is about transform the water utility with the circular economy principles. So that's a reason we have established our partnership with UTS.
We have initially developed a small-scale bioreactor, and then based on our promising result, we have developed full-scale. UTS is the only one university we have urine diversion system in Australia.
Social science, plant science, environmental engineering, hydraulics. There's so many different disciplines that are working as a one unit to produce something which I think it's very important for the future.
We can contribute a lot of environmental, economic, and climate change actions. That's the big picture of our nutrient technology. So take-home message is nutrient circularity is becoming more important, so we can contribute. So collect your urine and then give to me. I can convert and then give back to you. And urine is liquid gold. Urine diversion can do food security, energy reduction, water reduction, also benefit to the climate change, circular economy, nutrient resource recovery, eutrophication, wastewater infrastructure. Also, urine has a very unique fertilizer, biostimulant, can play important role to boost urine-derived fertilizer. Also, social, technical, environmental, economic issue we are currently also deliver, and then public education and feedback and advocacy are very important to get your perception change. So that's the today talk. Now it's a little bit of quiz. Thank you, everybody.